All right, everyone. I believe we're live. Let me know if the mic is working, if the camera is working, if I'm on the right screen. I hope so. You should be seeing the S&P 500, which I believe you are. So, yeah, once a few people are here, we will get started. Wow, platinum, beautiful lightning flash. Guys, wait till you see how this stream is going to work. It's going to be absolutely incredible. I mean, platinum wasn't really into my exact level, but these are the types of things I get alerted to now that I'm going to be sharing with you all day. Look at that lightning flash right there on platinum. Oh boy, perfect. Right into the daily extension. Right into the low of the day. Yeah, it's at the daily extension. Good example, but with my daily analysis last night for platinum, that wasn't quite in the zone. I want the zone to be a bit further down. But it's such an advantage, guys, having all these markets to go over. Nobody else on YouTube is going to be doing this at all, not even close. And I hope you guys are starting to see when we follow all these markets, we just get so many good setups, right? It's incredible. What's up, Cam? What's up, Bluey? How you doing, man? Glad to be back. I missed you guys. I got a baby crying in the other room. I got a 5-year-old doing something in another room. I mean, I got people all over the place here. If anybody needs a job and you want to come to Costa Rica, I need a nanny, but preferably a woman. What's up, Ralph? How you doing, man? Can you guys hear me all right? I got to get a boom arm for the mic, but for now, I think this is good enough. Gluey. All right. Well, look, Gluey, I'm not going to discriminate against men completely, but, you know, I got to have my radar up with the men. You're not missing much, Gluey. The pay for a nanny in Costa Rica is not great. The only advantage would be you'd be able to, you know, hang out and watch me live stream while you're taking care of the kid. All right, guys. So we got a new setup on the screen. Does it look good on your end? I tried to frame it and, you know, get a little, I don't know, make it look a little better. And, you know, everybody else is like advertising their prop firm discount codes. And I don't do any prop firm discount stuff. So I do VolPro Edge, so I feel like it's okay to tell people that. That's why I never really wanted to do the prop firm affiliate stuff, because how do you stay neutral and objective on your review of prop firms if you're making money off of recommending prop firms? That never made sense to me, right? Like, so I never did it. Anyways, I think you become a super big prop firm affiliate probably when you can't make money trading. That's just my feeling about it. But hey, I'm not knocking anybody. You know, they make money. That's great. Blue, can I have a cigar and not babysit? Yeah, well, Bluey, when you join the 100K club, which would be soon if you keep taking those natural gas setups, then you can come out to Costa Rica and have a cigar. Thanks, Darren. Thanks, Bluey. Okay, cool. You guys like the setup? I like it. And, you know, I'll play around with that little animated thing, but I think it's, you know, why not? It's kind of fun. I like it. So, I'm in the bigger bedroom now, so I have a lot more space, and I've got, I'll show you guys my new setup. It's nice. All right, so guys, the way the stream is going to run is, you know, like I posted in the members area, Bluey's in a copper long. Nice. Take a look at all these markets in just a moment. The end of day analysis is gold, as you see. You know, it's when you listen to it, watch it, and use it, I mean, it's pretty incredible, right? And then we use the end of day analysis to find the best markets to trade every day. And now we use the intraday volume charts to confirm our levels from the end of day analysis. And I've got the alert set, and we just wait for alerts to ping us. And we just go alert by alert by alert by alert, every single futures markets. And the setups that are good into our levels, we just take, because we know the analysis is good. We're not going to win all of them, but we're going to win a lot of them, and we're going to win enough of them, right? So soybeans are running from overnight. It was a little bit of a bummer. I only have one contract on my Tradeify. I wanted to put 2 contracts on my Tradeify, but you know, it's been a long week having the baby, getting back to the beach. And, you know, after I got done doing the end of day analysis video for you guys, I've been watching my 5-year-old. I had to take a break. So I walked out to the beach and had my first cigar that I've had in forever. And I was like, you know what? I'll just put on the soybean trade from my phone with Tradeify. And it turns out you can't copy trade on your mobile with Tradeivate. I mean, Tradeivate sucks. And so I had to put them on one by one. And then I realized, oh, it's only one contract. So whatever, the trade's working. We're long soybeans from 10.59 and a half. And soybeans are currently up around 10.65. The stop is still at 10.52. I mean, I'll probably leave it there because there's just so much support. I don't want to get taken out on some sort of a wick down, but I really don't want to see soybeans come back too much to break even now. I'll show you soybeans here, guys. Soybeans. So all the markets are up here, okay? Starting with the metals, then you got ultra bond, 30-year bond, the energies, the grains, you know, the agriculturals here. You got the meats. And then on our main screen, which we always have up, we have the indices. Okay. So with soybeans right here, where's my soybeans chart? Should be there. I don't think I'm seeing it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, sorry. Okay. So this is, I've got a system now, guys, for getting us in, you know, the hardest part of the end of day trades. And guys, you hear me okay, right? Even when I'm talking up here, can you hear me? I think you can. Oh, you can only see my background. Okay, sorry about that, Gluey. I got to think about how to, so this is over here. Okay, so somehow, let me just fix this, you guys. Somehow the screen just shifted. So YouTube just shifted my display over to that screen, which it should not do. So YouTube should not be doing that. There's you guys there. Okay, so this is the screen here. And now, so YouTube just shifted, or somebody shifted. Maybe it was OBS. Okay, good. Thanks for letting me know, Glue. I appreciate it. We'll figure all this out. Now you guys can see soybeans, right? You can hear me and see the screen all right? Oh, here, I got to push OK. Okay. Now you should be able to see everything. I don't know. OBS did a magical screen switch for whatever reason. All good. Thanks, Gluey. Appreciate it. Gluey, you're our in-house Australian technical expert. If you can't see my screen, you let me know, okay? So soybeans, we got long last night, of course, down here right at the open because of the end of day analysis. So we're all currently long soybeans, those of us who took that trade. You know, it's going up, which is good. We want it to go up when we're long, right? I'm happy about that. I've got a system, a little bit of a system for getting in on these. You'll notice when I do the end of day analysis, guys, like, okay, I talk about why I like this soybeans buy, you know, on the higher time period charts. All right, we just got pinged, so I don't want to miss anything. That's heating. So we got a ping on, let's see, on crude, copper, and heating oil. Let's look at crude real quick, and then I'll get back to explaining stuff. So crude is not at our level, so we just bang, not interested. Copper's at our level for sure, right here. Gluey already got a chunk of this. So look, this could be a trend reversal here on copper for sure. I don't think this is a bad place to get in on copper. I'm not going to get in here only because I would have liked to see, you know, try and get in on copper, probably down more into here. And guys, this is the thing. It'll sometimes break the level, right? These are zones, right? So the zone is based on the middle of the envelope and the extension there. And it's because copper is bullish on the higher time periods, right? That's why we want to look for setups here. So I'm just going to, if you're in copper, great. Like Gluey, you're already in. That's fantastic. It's probably going to head higher. But I'm going to wait and see if on the next, you know, if we can get something like that. And then I would get long for copper like that. So that's what I'm going to wait for on copper. Let's look at heating oil. I believe Darren is long heating oil from the analysis. Guys, look at this level. These are the levels I posted for you, you know, before any of this happened. This is the heating oil level. I mean, just stunning. So Darren is long heating oil. Nice job, Darren. I think somebody else is long natural gas. Natural gas put a great setup overnight. Unbelievable. But we just got pinged on this bar. So the way this works is that each one of my intraday volume charts here, I'll just check the chat, make sure everything's good. Okay. You know, I'm basically just using the amount of volume based on the daily volume, you know, around 10%, but it's, you know, it's not perfect, something like that. And I'm just waiting for good setups, and then I'll use the lower time periods sometimes, especially if I want a pyramid, and we'll go over some examples of that. Anyway, so nothing on heating oil that I want to take, but those of you who got long from that level, fantastic. Great job. So with soybeans, you know, we just got to let this sucker run now, right? It's going to run, and we'll see if it comes back to break even during the day. We'll just have to make a decision. You know, at least we can watch the patterns and see if we want to hold it or cut it. But at this point, let's just let it run and hope it keeps going up, right? We're long from a good level. But the system I have for entering is basically I look at the intraday chart heading into the close for that end of day pattern, and I see, because this is telling me a lot. So the reason I like that soybeans long on the daily was because of the higher time period, but also, you know, our higher time period intraday volume based chart had already, you know, trended down the day before, entered congestion up. Well, obviously that's a good sign. I think we're going to see trend reversal up on soybeans because of that daily pattern, right? And this is why I didn't take the nat gas at open, because nat gas was open on Memorial Day and there wasn't enough volume to give me information on that intraday volume chart to make a decision, right? So I just feel locked and loaded, you guys. We're going to make an enormous amount of money the next several months, and I'm excited about it. And we're going to do it on YouTube for a couple hours each day. That's kind of like, you know, those who can't afford to come in or whatever, they can hang out and, you know, make a little bit of money. But then the streaming will continue for many more hours in Discord every day, because this is what I'm doing all day, every day for my own trades. So it's going to be awesome, you guys. I'm really stoked about it. All right, we got pinged on silver. Let's check silver. Okay, so silver is bombing straight through the support. You see, this is to me, it's like, okay, silver had a lot of support there, right? That was the level. Well, that's a trend down. It's going straight through the support. So do you see how you can just use the intraday, especially the volume-based charts, to confirm or deny the levels, right? So silver did not confirm that level. In fact, you know, if silver was to give us a good pullback now up into this level later, I would maybe even short it, right? So I'm not doing anything on silver now. Does that make sense? Have a good day, Lily. I love you. You want to say hi to everybody? Here, Lily, you say hi to everybody. Come here. In the camera. See, I'll give you a TV, but you see the camera there? You wave to everybody. You say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
Say I'm going to school.
I'm going to school too.
Okay, I love you. Here, take your TV and go with Grandma. Okay, go with Grandma. Ralph says hi, Lily. Thanks, Ralph. Thanks, guys. Yeah, so the intraday chart is the intraday chart is really important, and I look at it even when making decisions on the end of day close. All right, we got pinged on ultra bonds and the Dow. So let's look at ultra bonds first. And okay, they're not changing my screen around. That's good. So ultra bonds. Yeah, so look, the read on ultra, you guys see how we're on the right side of the market a lot, and how much that helps and how much it builds your confidence to be able to just follow all these markets from, generally speaking, the right side and the correct levels. I mean, it's incredible. It still blows me away, you guys. It's just amazing. All right, so nothing there on bonds because we're waiting for a pullback, but we might get one. Bonds could give us a pullback. Let's look at the Dow. So this is the Dow level here. We're obviously, the direction in the end of day analysis was correct. We expected to see a continued push. I'm going to raise this level here on the Dow because I can see the extension on the daily is there, and we'll just kind of raise this to here. There's our updated Dow level. We just got pinged by the Russell. Let's check in on the Russell. I like our level on the Russell here, so we'll just wait for a pullback. Nothing we can do now. So that's fantastic. We'll just flop over to NQ. But you see how much more efficient and productive this is when we're following, 20 plus futures markets and you're just not sitting around scalping for a point or two on the Nasdaq. I mean, I think it's incredible. Soybeans are trying to push. I've got them open on my other laptop here. So yeah, we're going to get started pre-market every day because a lot of the moves, especially in the metals and the energies, will happen right around 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. Eastern, and we got to be there for those. I mean, natural gas, guys. I mean, check this out. This was a beauty. I love how Windows says, hey, do you want me to rearrange your fucking windows? No, I don't want you to rearrange my windows. Anybody know how to turn that off on Windows where you get it near the border and it starts like resizing your windows? I mean, I swear I think they just do it to piss us off. I don't actually think it helps anything at all. I don't know anybody that uses that feature. All right, let's look at natural gas. So look, this was natural gas, the daily chart. I mean, this was absolutely stunning. That pocket on the daily, you're right at the weekly true average was right in there. That's why I love that natural gas long that I talked about in the end of day analysis that I posted for you guys last night. That natural gas long looks so good. And some of you got that, which is awesome. We just had muted volume there on Memorial Day for natural gas. So, we hadn't entered congestion up yet on the intraday volume chart. So that's why I thought natural gas would go lower and potentially give a pocket into that support that we marked out, and it perfectly did. I mean, I was asleep during London, so I couldn't take that. But those of you who traded London, you had the information, you executed. I mean, it's perfect. So absolutely fantastic. All right, let's check the chat here. Silver long, daily pocket. Are you able to tell me your thoughts on the chart when you have a moment? Yeah, silver looks pretty weak to me right now, Gluey. So I'm just... I came into the day thinking, hey, I'm going to watch that long level. So I wouldn't be long silver right now, but that's just me, Louis. So that's how I feel about it. And yeah, it is in a daily pocket. True. But see, here's the daily pocket in Sierra. It's the same thing. So yeah, I mean, we could just reverse all. If you're long from down here, it depends. But right now, see, I wouldn't take a long here anywhere because my intraday volume chart is straight down, right? Now that doesn't mean that it's not going to stabilize and head back up, but I would want to see that stabilization reversal into my key level. I don't have anything to lean against here on the daily. So I would want a really important DML to lean against in that pocket to take that trade. And I don't have that. Does that make sense, Louis? What's up, Andreas? How you doing, man? Did you get in on soybeans, natural gas, any of those calls? Ralph, gold sitting at daily extension. No, I don't like, Ralph, I don't like gold for a long. And the reason is because, this might turn it around here, but it's the same thing as silver. We're trending down. And I'm not saying that this is not going to cause a little bit of a reaction, but we talked about it in the end of day analysis. You're going against a weekly resistance pocket, driving down right now. So that's why I wouldn't want to go long gold right here. That's just my perspective on it. I'm doing great, Andreas. Thanks, man. The baby's healthy. Just kind of getting, landing. Got to get a nanny. Got to get things, focused so I can do this with you guys every day for, let's see, it's going to be 8:30 Eastern to 2:30 Eastern. We're going to stream, guys, for 6 hours a day. Now, I'm not going to be talking like this for 6 hours a day. It's mostly just going to be waiting for, alerts and getting pings, and I got to save my voice. But we're going to be finding trades for 6 hours a day, every day. Soybeans is a swing trade for me. I'm hoping soybeans will run for a few days. The one we got in on at the close. I know I gotta get the boom arm so the mic is better. I hate bad mic quality. I'll figure that out. I've been everywhere in Costa Rica looking for a Shura. I think that's the best mic. Nobody has them. All right, let's look at crude. We got pinged again on crude. We'll swap on over. Yep, so our crude level, so crude is one where I'm waiting for it to come down here to that 60.80 level. And if we get a pocket like this on crude later, I'm going to buy some crude and look for something like this. But you see, you have your analysis, you've got your plan, you've got your levels. The alerts are telling us what market to go look at that's going to close a higher time period volume chart. And we're just scanning and looking. So that's fantastic. I've got the back testing finished for Sierra, the DLL. So I'm going to release that later for you guys. I just have to test it and then release it. So you'll be able to back test as far back as you want on Sierra charts, which is awesome. All right. So crude here. I'm just waiting with crude. So you see how we got alerted and that bar just closed, but we're not near our zone. So I don't want to take crude there, right? So now we just wait for the next ping. My daughter goes, what ping? A ping is an alert. We're waiting for alerts because we're trading the Nasdaq and lots of other futures. Do you want soybeans to go up, Lily? No, yes. Don't ever. You say yes. You would love soybeans to go up. Good job. I'm proud of you. At first, she goes, no, I don't want soybeans to go up. I go, how dare you? You're doing great. I love you. Guys, this will be like a family stream, right? You got like Patrick Wieland in his big dick house. He calls it the BDH with his Lambos. And then we're just actually going to be calling out really good trades with like, you know, daughters and wives and grandparents running around, which I think is more wholesome. I'll try not to drop too many F-bombs. We'll make it a family show. All right, so let's see what we got shaken now. No alerts. Well, we did get an alert by the Russell, but we looked at that. So, and then you can see down here, this is where you know. So right now on the Russell, we're at 17,700 contracts that have already traded on this higher time period volume bar. And this is a 18,000 contract chart. So in 300 contracts, you know, this will close. And then I say, oh, do I want to trade that? No, because we're not in my support zone. And I also just very much dislike the Russell, but I'm not going to be prejudiced against it. If it gets a signal, we'll take it. Yeah, the reality show, exactly. The reality show that you, while you watch, you can actually learn, follow, and make money, right? That's a good reality show, as opposed to like watching the current reality shows where people sit on the couch, stuff your face full of chips, and then get depressed. That's not fun. All right. So soybeans, trying to get through that 1067 level. I've got my stuff open over here. So we'll let soybeans run. Coming up on 9 a.m. in 7 minutes, which is going to be cool. And we just wait for these alerts, you guys. Let me know if you got any questions. We're just chilling. I'm going to get some coffee. Post your questions, anything. Let me know. I know that Darren is long heating oil and soybeans from the end of day analysis. Somebody, I think Gluey was long natural gas, which is awesome. Let me know if you guys, you know, took the soybeans trade, or did you take natural gas, or did you take heating oil? I mean, so far everything's looking, knock on wood, pretty darn good. That kind of rhymed. I didn't even mean it. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to refill the coffee. All right. How we doing? You guys got your coffee? I guess, Gluey, you don't have any coffee, right? It's like 11 o'clock at night in Australia. Oh, should we show everybody?
Yeah.
Come on, let's show. How do you say butterfly in Spanish? No, mariposa. Here, I'll show them. Here, I'll show them. Okay, here, you guys show them your butterfly, okay? Here, hold it, show the butterfly in the camera. Oh, you guys show it? There's the butterfly. Oh, that's nice. Mwah. Okay, love you. Okay, go to grandma. Good job eating your breakfast.
Where are we gonna go?
You're gonna go to school with grandma and grandpa. It's gonna be fun. And you're gonna get all your stickers if you listen to your teachers and eat all your food, right? Oh, I got an alert. That's a ping. Did you hear it go ping? So then we got to check natural gas. Lily, what do you think about natural gas?
Nasdaq.
It's going up, and we did say it should go up, so we did a good job, didn't we?
Yeah, you guessed right.
Oh, thank you. It's an educated. It's more of a hypothesis rather than a guess. Do you know what a hypothesis is? It's kind of a guess, but based on a lot of valid information. Okay, I love you. I got to talk to the guys on the stream and work. You go to grandma, okay? Or you can hang out here, but you want to play or go to grandma or whatever. I love you. All right, guys. So natural gas, I'm looking at, it's just going up. So if you got into natural gas, the bus has left the station. You're feeling very good about it. Let's see. Cam, does anyone know if the funded accounts let you hold a trade? No, you got to close and reopen, Cam. That's the only bummer, but it is what it is. Hey, what's up, Tim? Tim, you heard that I'm going to release the backtesting DLL today, right? So you'll be able to backtest as far back as you want, which would be awesome. I finally got that fixed. Jonas had to rewrite the entire programming language. I don't know why, but anyways, it's fixed, which is awesome. All right, so nat gas is just kind of off and running. Yeah, it's awesome. Sorry it took so long, but you know, we're a small outfit. We do the best we can, and it's coming together. All right, so we're waiting for pings here. God, natural gas is just ripping. For those of you that are in, well done. We had see the trigger on natural gas here for me, and this is why I'm working on the algos, because that pocket right there is perfect. I mean, and then the lower time period probably gave you a good buy right in here somewhere, and then off you go, you know? So that's beautiful for natural gas. So you probably would have got in around 3.660. Right now it's around 760. So up about $1,000 per contract on nat gas on that call. So that's nice. Cool. No, I'm gonna do that later, Gluey. I intended to do that this weekend, and it was just too busy. So I'm gonna look at that. And what I'm gonna do for those is I'm gonna answer each one of you with a voice message, because it'll take me forever to type to all those answers. And then I'm gonna do that though in that chat, so all of you can listen to my voice response answering the questions to each person. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. So I'll do that later today, which would be nice. Yeah, and let's see. It's today is the 27th. So let's see. The end of the month is Saturday. Okay, cool. So for anybody that's going to stay on and, you know, stay monthly, on Saturday when the end of the month arrives, you can just go to the website and sign up for the monthly. But there's a 7-day free trial now for everybody who signs up for the monthly. So you'll actually still get 5 weeks instead of 4. And I think you guys, I've got to give you discount codes because you're not paying the price on the website because you guys were here from the beginning. So I'll work all that out before the weekend, you guys. So we'll figure that out. But we're looking good. All right, we're waiting for pings here. Let me know if you guys got any questions. That Australian dollar trade from the other day was nice. I don't have the currencies up intraday because there's already enough to follow with all these futures markets and they're more volatile. So it's kind of more fun. So that's how it's looking. Yeah, Ralph, no problem. So my two instances are, this is my, when I open Sierra, I get the chart you're seeing now, right? And on that chart, I have my, higher time, my quarterly, my yearly, quarterly, all this. And then that has this, all the markets here that I can flop back and forth between. That's on my other screen. And then for a new instance, you just go File, New Instance, boom. And then it opens up this instance over here where I just have all my intraday charts for all the other markets. So I've got, like, for gold, I've got for all these charts, I've got the daily chart here. I've got the higher time period volume chart, which is like 10% of the volume roughly. So you can see gold is right around 200,000 contracts a day here. So then that's why this is on 20,000 volume. And then this is 1/5 of that. So that's 4,000, right? So I've just got that set up for every market. And then for the alerts, I've just got the volume alert. I can post that in the chat so you guys can set alerts if you want as well. So it's a good setup. So we just got alerted. Can you guys hear the alerts or is it just me? Probably just me, I guess. So that was a silver alert. Let's look at silver. Make sure we're still on the right. Yeah. So now silver is pushing up. Yeah, I wouldn't take this. It's not, I don't think it's a bad spot. It could go up, but I just don't have anything to lean against on the daily. So, that's why I wouldn't take silver there. I don't want to force it. Like the levels work. If you just follow the levels. What's up, Christian? How you doing, man? Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, exactly. I got rid of the value area high and low for the daily, and I'm just using the high of day and the low of day. That's the white line you see here. So if we look at like NQ, that was Memorial. So the white line is just the high a day and the low a day because the signals work the best really if you can snag something near the low of the day with a VolPro Edge pattern to get long into a VolPro Edge support level with the higher time period telling you that there's a lot of support there. Those are the ones that can run. Those are the ones you can pyramid. Yeah, that's a study. It's just high a day, end of day. We can look at that. Yeah, you'll find it, Ralph. I can, if you just Google high a day, end of day, you'll find it. Yeah. All right, we just got pinged on gasoline. We all need gasoline. Well, I don't because the VolPro Edge Mobile is electric, but let's see. Gasoline here. Yeah, so gasoline I didn't really have in the end of day analysis. I said I'm not trading gasoline today. So when I get pinged for gasoline, I don't even care, right? So that's that. So are you guys, with the structure we've got now, are you, sort of, does it make sense to you? Because I finally have VolPro Edge in terms of, my own trading, teaching you guys, live streaming, how do I connect the swing trades, the end of day trades, the trades we put on during the day. And to me now, it's one cohesive whole where it all makes beautiful sense. And I want to know if it's like that for you, or if you can see the logic behind why I'm doing it this way. So let me know. We'll wait. So because I'm going to be live streaming for 6 hours a day, in the early part of the day when it's, I've got my coffee and I'm on the caffeine rush and I'm explaining stuff, that'll be great. And then as the day kind of settles in, we're just going to be waiting for alerts and, oh yeah, don't like it, don't like it, don't like it, don't like it. Boom. Love it. Take it. Right. So like natural gas, you guys know you know, I talked about this in the video, one of the videos I did for you guys. On Friday, my level was, you know, you remember the level for natural gas was like right there. No, it was like right here. And we got a perfect, like, that was just absolutely beautiful. And that's when my daughter was, you know, having a meltdown because her pancakes weren't perfect. And I was like, oh God. So anyways, Jonas is working on the algos. So the way the algos are going to work is I'm just going to tell it like, I'm going to run it on for my own accounts. I'm going to run it on a virtual machine in the cloud so that if power goes out or whatever in Costa Rica, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to run the algos on my live accounts. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be like, okay, that's my zone input, zone high, zone low. Okay, if I get a pocket there on natural gas, you know, if I get a flash there, it's just going to take it. It's going to be automated. And then I'm also going to set it up so if the lower time period starts ripping into a trend run, it's going to start pyramiding and adding contracts while trailing the stop. So that's going to be awesome. And then what I'm going to do is I'm still going to do this with you guys where we do it, you know, we've got our plan, but we're looking for things in a discretionary manner. And I'm going to actually compare my discretionary results to my algos results. Won't that be fun? And we'll see how that goes. All right, crude oil just got a ping. Let's look at crude. Oh boy, I might have to buy crude down here. Okay, let's see. We got, ooh, it's going to happen fast. I got to open crude here on my Tradeifys. One sec, guys. We might buy some crude. Make sure I got the copy trading on. All right, so this is going to close here in about 100 contracts. I mean, we kind of didn't tag the level yet, but we're pretty darn close. Let's see what our lower time period is doing. There's the close. Let's see here. Kind of sucking up right there. We're below the VolPro reaction support right here. Let's see, 6103. I'm going to watch. I like this pattern here on crude. So while we're waiting for other pings, I'm going to wait and see if this comes down to this support level. I might miss it, but the way the lower time period looks to me right now, I just want to see if it wants to test down here a little bit more. So let's just watch the lower time period. Had this kind of pocketed down here, tested that support. You know, there's a couple things that make me wait on this trade is that the true average is up here, you know. So if you compare this to the natural gas one I was just going over, you see that? You see how the true average is right there? That's usually a nice sign. And you got that core DML right there, right? Whereas if you look at crude, no true average, no core DML. So then it's just wait and be patient. Does that make sense? And if you miss it, you miss it, guys, because the good ones look nice. All right, we just got pinged for heating oil. And we're going to keep an eye on crude because there is some support down here for sure. And I want to watch the lower time period. Let's look at heating oil. So heating oil is also back into our support level. Heating oil, I kind of like a little bit less. If I have to choose between heating oil and crude at these support levels, I would go crude because of the liquidity. And also, you know, crude just looks a little bit more stable on the daily. It's more in congestion, whereas heating oil is trending down. Now, I still think that heating oil can have some support here. But like if I was long from that level there and heating oil came all the way back down here, I probably would have taken a break even. And sometimes that'll happen, right? You don't know. So heating oil, I'm going to ignore that because it's going to be pretty correlated to crude. And I'd rather just keep an eye on crude over here while we wait for other alerts. Make sure we're not missing anything. Does that make sense? So I like that 60, 70 to 60, 80 level. And you just notice, guys, you don't have to be in a rush, right? You can just wait and watch and don't worry about missing trades. There are plenty of trades. We're currently long soybeans. That's nice. You know, nat gas is, I mean, was doing really good, probably still is. Yeah, nat gas is doing nice. And see, this is going to be up to you guys where you want to manage these. I mean, that's like, I'll do it for you when we're streaming together, right? But if nat gas long here and we get up to that daily DML, that's a good spot to take some profit. That's $1,000 per contract, right? Because if you're going to hold that the whole week, you're going to have to sit through a lot of stuff. And I will on some of them. All right, let's go back to crude. So let's just wait. Okay, I'm going to get to your questions, guys. I've just been focused on this. So, Gluey, I think it's running smooth at the moment with the end of day levels, streams. Yeah, I think so too, Gluey. Thanks, man. I really like it. So, Tim, do you open your charts as a group? There's a lot of chart to open. I just have them auto set to open when I open the instance. So, if you just go to global settings, and then you go here to global settings, you just go here, startup button, select files to open on startup. And you just add your files, click OK, apply all, and then it just opens them every time I start it up, Tim. So it's nice. Thanks, Ralph. Yeah, I love this idea. I mean, this is like, because, you know, I've been trying to like, you know, how do I get all this just the way I like it? And now I love it with what we've got with the end of day analysis. You know, we put on some trades right at the reopen, like we did soybeans last night, Australian dollar last Thursday. And then some trades, I like them, but I don't like where they're opening. So we're going to catch them, you know, like this during the day, right? It's going to be awesome. And then the next stage that's coming, that will be the algos. And, you know, Jonas is coding those now while he's working on NinjaTrader. The update with NinjaTrader is that I see that pocket there, but I don't like that this higher time period volume chart doesn't have any of its own support down here. So I'm just going to watch and wait. Really, I'd be waiting for this lower time period to try to reverse maybe and get in, you know, I'm just keeping an eye on crude. But NinjaTrader, what we're working on with NinjaTrader is that we need to see if they allow calls to the server. So he's working on that. Sierra does, which is why we can do it. TradingView, we actually have the indicators running in the cloud, which is great. But NinjaTrader, we got to see if we can make calls to our server. So Jonas is working on that while he's working on the algo code. So let's see here. Does that make sense, Tim, regarding how I have the charts all open like that? Because, yeah, I agree. It's a pain in the ass to open them one by one. Yeah, Gluey. Crude has a look. We're at our level. You know, we're in congestion here on the volume chart, right? Look, this is congestion. You're just expanding this congestion zone lower. But the reason I'm not in a rush here with crude, yeah, there's a lot of support here. Let's see. It's because the true average would be better underneath us. I don't see any core DMLs here for this bar. So I'm like, and the VolPro reaction level is kind of above us. That's better when that's below you, right? And guys, what you should really start doing, I would, yeah, I'll do that later, Tim. Good idea. Or, yeah, I'll upload them. So what you should really start doing, guys, is when I'm calling out, I see, because I don't have time. I'm just one guy, right? I can't do everything. So when I'm pointing out like, hey, wow, that's a really nice pocket right there on nat gas from that other day I talked about, because you got that. Yeah, you broke that, but who cares? Because you're in all that support we talked about, right? What's really important to me on this one is you've got the true average right here. You've got the core DML there. You've got the VolPro reaction support below you. All that is support, right? It's really nice. So you should screenshot that, take notes, print it out, and tape it to your wall and start taping examples. Hey, these are good pockets. Hey, these are good flashes. You know, these are good extended flashes. These are good. So then it'll all be like a visual library for you, right? So you can start picking these off. Back in the day when I was learning from Charlie, and then, you know, as I started developing my own stuff, guys, I had printed out charts like on every wall in my office, like everywhere, from wall to ceiling. People would walk into my office and be like, you know, what's going on here? All right, let's go back to crude. Just watch crude. We got ping there for heating oil. The indices are, obviously we're waiting for the open here in 15 minutes. So heating oil, I'm still not interested in, but that's the one right there. I mean, it's not a bad little pattern down there on heating oil. This could rip. It really could. But, you know, the fact that we've round tripped it, this is another example for you guys. All right, the fact that we picked up support, ripped, and then we round trip it back to support. I rarely like taking that trade once we've round tripped it. You know, sometimes it'll work and go back up, but I prefer, you know, to catch the trade, the first test of the support, and then boom, and then it doesn't look back. It keeps going. So nat gas. I'm not going to mess with this again because we're round tripping. If I was in nat gas, I would have already taken profit up in here somewhere, because I wouldn't have wanted to get back $1,000 per contract. And if you guys, if I don't mention that, it's because I'm not in nat gas. But if you're in nat gas, or if you're in anything right now and you're wondering what you should do, ask and I'll tell you what I would do, right? It doesn't make it right. It's just, you know, it'll give you at least info on what I do. Hey, Dad. So let's go back to crude. So there's some support here on crude for sure. Now you can see the lower time period is kind of respecting this level. It's got some buying coming in on the footprint. It's not a bad spot to get long crude, guys. I'm just kind of waiting because, like I said, the reasons over here. There are enough trades we don't have to force the issue with things. You guys sleep well? Yeah, good. Yeah, cool. I gave Mom the extra key. A little bit of buying coming in here. I didn't even realize, I haven't even looked at soybeans now in a while. We're trying to push higher in soybeans. That's nice. Still in that long. Yeah, so crude, I mean, it's just, you see what I mean about this here? That cuts off there. It's kind of, it's just, I'd want a little more support there. But now you can see we are at least entering congestion up here. So that would be 61. Yeah, you know, I'm just going to wait on crude, you guys, because I just don't, if it goes up, it goes up. I still want that support to get tested. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. So those of you who like this trade, don't let me stop you. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I think it's 50-50. Could go up, could go down. See what happens. All right, so let crude go for now. And Ralph, was it you? You were asking about how you make a like a table in Top Step or whatever for the different symbols. Did you figure that out where you can click and load the DOM easy? Oh, okay, cool. I got to do that on mine as well. Oh, you didn't yet? Okay, yeah, I'm sure there's a way to do it. Hey AJ, what's up, man? Wow, 14K sim trade, man. That's awesome. Good job, dude. Yeah, what was it that you took, AJ? I can't remember. I know you posted it in the Discord, but I can't remember what it was. NQ. Okay, nice. Yeah, the NQ level, it pretty much, if you were keeping an eye on it, you got close here. And NQ, this is like one where, you know, like crude, I'm being a little bit of a stickler because it's not as clear. Like NQ, I mean, the reason I'm betting up all day is coming out of that flash right there. It makes that congestion entrance up bar on the daily even stronger. So it makes all this support even stronger on NQ. All right, we've got gasoline alert. We're not trading gasoline today, so that's fine. All right, so we got a lot of people taking the trades and making money, and that's what we want. That's the whole point of you guys being here. Get comfortable because you see how much money you can make. So it doesn't matter if it takes you a few months to kind of get settled and get comfy and find your own approach. You know, once you get going, like the dam breaks and the money comes in. So Ralph, two examples of Top Step. They shut down. Oh, okay. I see. Makes sense. Yeah, that's nice, AJ. Good job, bro. And look, I think this is the thing people lose sight of. We, especially with this many markets, we can be selective, right? Because this is all about quality and then sizing up. So, on soybeans, like right now we're up 425 bucks per contract. That's only one contract. So imagine you start to get more confidence, you go 5 soybean contracts. Now you're up $2,000 per contract. That's great. So I'm sizing up sometimes, but right now I'm just kind of getting into the flow, and then I'll start sizing up. So Nasdaq's going to open here in 7 minutes. To be honest, I don't really care what Nasdaq does at the open because I'm just waiting for the level and the alerts. So it's just going to do what it's going to do. I don't want to muck around in the weeds. Look at how many people day trade the Nasdaq or whatever, and the failure rate with prop firms and day trading is like over 95%. And they keep doing the same thing day after day after day. Oh, trading's too hard. I'm losing. Well, why are you losing? Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. If you're not getting results with the way you're trading, you got to make some changes, right? Look at the advantage we have by following all these future. We do the end of day analysis. We plan out our day. We get our levels. We sit here and wait and trade them. I mean, that's why it works. It's preparation and then trading the plan and then the execution. Yeah, I hear that, AJ. Well, look, swing trading, it's a blessing and a curse. It's hard to hold, right? It's something I'm working on too. That's why I'm working on these, I'm trying to work on these things holding, but it's also nice when let's say you got 5 contracts on something and you're up, $2,000, $4,000, $5,000. It's nice to just book that money and take it. And you're like, I just made $5,000. But when you really hold and really add for like a week or two, the $5,000 can turn into 30 or 40 grand. And that's where I'm not there yet, but that's where I'm looking to go. But we've got the analysis, we've got the plan, we've got the levels. Crude's pushing now. So, that could have been a good low entry pocket right there. But again, I don't regret not taking this because I just follow my plan. And for crude oil, we just didn't have any higher time period support here to lean against. And I want that higher time period support there to lean against. So the fact that it's going up without me, it's okay. So we just got a ping on copper. So yeah, copper, you can see we hit our level nicely. We're rounding the bend here. I'm just kind of waiting if we get a pullback on copper, maybe down to the lows down here. I wouldn't mind a long. I'm actually going to adjust this level here because you do have here on the daily that nice DML support, which is coming across right there. So, if we got a flush on copper, I'd be willing to buy that for a little, just a day trade to push back up, because at this point, copper is looking to me like it may set up a nice pullback pocket for the end of day analysis today that, you know, we may be able to buy tomorrow for a push like that. It's kind of how I'm seeing copper. And see, the more you understand VolPro Edge, the better you'll get at, like, you know, using your imagination to see what you think might happen next. All right, so the market's going to open here in about 4 minutes. Soybeans are closed right now, but the soybean market is going to reopen in about 3 minutes as well. The meats will open. They're not really on my list for today, you know, based on the end of day analysis. So we just hang out, wait. I mean, soybeans, I'm kind of, since we're already long soybeans, we might as well watch them here at the open because they'll reopen. Let's go to soybeans. So I mean, I'm hoping soybeans can just blast. I mean, that would be nice if it could just blast. We'll watch soybeans because if it does on open, like if, you know, we're long from down here. So if this thing blasts up here, I mean, I'd probably just close that out for the day and then maybe try to find a spot to reopen it tomorrow or the next day. Let's just see what happens. It may just tank at the open. I don't really want to move my stop to break even yet, but crazy things can happen on soybeans, right? Like this thing can do anything. Right now we're at this daily resistance, but I would expect that daily resistance to break based on the strength of that weekly pocket support pushing up and the daily. So that's kind of my thesis on soybeans, but you never know. My stop is still at 1052, but to be honest, we're watching this together. If we started to really break through 1055, 1056, I'd probably cut it. But let's just watch. And you guys see why it's so hard to give signals, right? I mean, we're doing a good job, right? Using the analysis, using everything, but you see the nuances in trading, like where you get in, where you put your stop, how you manage it. It's a very fluid thing, right? Yeah, so crude's up nicely, up 18 cents from that 61 level. All right, so we're going to get the open here for the indices and the grains in 50 seconds. You guys can check your latency. My clock is up here. It's 9:29, 18 seconds. AJ spent so much money on reset. Yeah, yeah, totally. I mean, that's the crazy thing, you know, is that like people put the cart before the horse. They start, you know, spending all the money on all the evals and the resets and all that. It's a really good idea to, you know, really learn a system that works first and put your time and focus and money into getting the foundation set and then, you know, going off to the evals and all that, you know. I'm glad you're here, AJ. It's never too late, buddy. All right, platinum just triggered, but let's see. There's the open of soybeans. It'll be crazy. You know, it could flush, it could push. You just don't know. Be cool though if it just rocketed. All right. So we got pinged. We got an alert for wheat, which I'm not really interested in today. Cattle. So we'll just let those go because those aren't really on my list. Yeah, exactly. Isn't that, well, I mean, you know, in terms of the cash, you know, like it's like once you get it right, you know, once you get the trading right, whatever you've lost on evals and all that kind of stuff can come back real fast. But you just got to have the approach. You know, people think they're going to get rich following the, you know, trader-tainers on YouTube. It's like most people, I think they think they want to trade for a living, but they don't actually realize what it takes to trade for a living. So they're kind of deluding themselves. Like this, you guys see the amount of work that I put into this every single day in terms of the analysis, the videos, the levels, planning things, standing in front of the screen, you know? You have a kid scissor? Wow, we'll go get it.
Yeah, can I make things for my friends?
Well, you're going to go to school now because it's 7:30 and you start at 8. So go ask Grandma and Grandpa when you're leaving. I don't know if you can bring kid scissors to school. I don't think so. But you can ask them at school if you can do arts and crafts. They probably have kid scissors.
But I want to make things for them. I'm going to solicit supplies.
Oh, well, go talk to Grandma about it, okay? Because I'm working and you're going to go to school and I want to give you some stickers today.
Okay, but come with me.
I can't because I'm watching the markets, okay? Soybeans are going up, though. You did a good job on soybeans. Want to give me a high five for soybeans? You did a great job. Oh, I love you. You did a great job on soybeans. I love you. Oh, I'm going to miss you today. Mwah.
I want the soybeans to go up.
Oh, don't say that. Are you joking? Are you joking? You're just trying to joke.
Joking.
You're just joking. I love you.
I'm not joking.
Yeah, you got a question?
Lots of toys for my friends.
Just one.
All right, guys, I'm monitoring the alerts. So
I think
right now we got the Nasdaq, which we can, you see, here's the alert, Nasdaq. Okay, drive safely. Love you guys. So we'll just watch the Nasdaq here, see if it pulls back into support. I would love that. The Dow triggered. Let's see what the Dow's doing. Okay, the Dow came back into support. Let's see what we got. You see, on the Dow here, it's kind of similar. You see how this big U pocket, I don't have any DMLs to lean against. I don't have a true average here. So yeah, we're in the start of the support zone, but I'm not going to take that because I don't have anything there, right? So I'll just wait. There's a lot of support here, but you know, I want this pattern to look really good. Plus you're coming out of, you got to always be careful if you're coming out of a pocket like this. Okay. So we'll wait on the Dow. We will look at the Nasdaq and see. We're getting pinged on some of the grains and some of the meats, but that's because they just opened. So there's lots of volume coming in, but those aren't like my markets of preference today, except for soybeans, which were long. Soybeans is trying to push, you know, it's right into that daily support level. So anything can happen, but you know, we got to hold. We're up about $400 a contract, something like that. So we'll see. At this point, I really don't want soybeans to come back to entry. So I haven't moved my stop yet, but I'm going to monitor it, you know, and see. Like at this point with soybeans, you know, you're coming out of that daily pocket. Okay, Lily, if you want a sticker, you got to go to school right now. So
okay, but
if you want a sticker, you got to go. I love you. High five. Be good. Go get your sticker. Go to school. Tell Grandma and Grandpa you're ready. See, this is why I need a nanny, you guys. It's going to be nice to find one. So with soybeans, we're trending up here. And I mean, it really should keep trending up. Those are the ones I like, you know, like if this comes back down here, they could do that. They could run the stops and then push it like that. So That's why I don't want to move to break even yet, but preferably I'd like it to keep trending up, you know? I want to see the dips get bought up on soybeans when we're long. Oh yeah. I mean, the thing is, most people, we all get into trading for the money at first, but if it doesn't become a passion, the money will never come, right? Like imagine if a really good actor or a really good director or whatever just wanted to make the movie for the money, they'd probably suck at acting and suck at directing. Like the passion comes first, and if you really enjoy it, the money will follow. If you're in a business that can give you good money, like trading or acting or directing or whatever, a musician, like can you imagine like starting to learn to play the guitar? You're like, I'm just gonna make a lot of money. Like no, all the good musicians, they played music because they loved it and it was their passion, and some of them ended up making a lot of money because of it. So the passion has to come first, and trading is no different. All right, so we're getting pinged on things. Let's go. Soybeans will just do, we'll keep an eye on soybeans a little bit. Somebody let me know if soybeans comes back to around our entry, and then we'll make a decision. But right now, I gotta let it run. So Nasdaq here, you've got a lot. I gotta raise this zone on the Nasdaq to here because you've got a lot of support there at the middle of the envelope. You see all those DMLs stacked. So this would be probably, I would probably have to take a long on the Nasdaq. Let's see where this closes. Well, no, maybe this is a little strange here. We still have a ton of contracts left to be traded. So the Nasdaq, oh, I see. Yeah, so we're gonna wait for this to close because we got alerted on that bar there, which we don't want to take. So we're gonna wait for this to close. We still got a bunch of contracts left to be traded. Let's look at ES. I gotta raise that zone there on ES a little bit. So ES, that's probably a nice buy opportunity right there on ES. I think I have to buy that if I can get in on time. I like ES there, you guys. So do what you got to do. I got to load I was fussing around with the Nasdaq. All right, I'm gonna buy ES here. I wish I had gotten in a little lower. See what else we got here. I wish I'd seen that ES. I would be in from around 71. So I may actually just try and set an order at 71. Yeah, I closed that. I'm going to try and get in at like 72, you guys, because that's where I should get in from. That's where the risk makes the most sense. So I've got an order to get in at 72. I was originally in there at like 76.5, and it may just go up and then I miss it. But I was dicking around on the Nasdaq here because I wasn't following why the contracts were doing that. So ES, I needed to be more on top of the ball. But there's a lot of support here, guys. I'm trying to get long at 72. And the stop would, I just have to monitor this. Let's just see what happens. Nat gas triggered something, but I don't want that because it round tripped. So I think ES is a damn good buy. I would have loved to be in from 70. Got the order at 72. You guys do what you want to do. There's a lot of support here. So why you got to be quick on the alerts. This is why it's going to be good when my daughter's gets a nanny. It can be more focused. But we're doing good. So we got crude oil alert. Yeah, crude's pushing up off that support. Nice. Soybeans are trying to push, which is good. ES is pushing. Let me just check here. I would expect ES to try to go back up near the highs. Just check something over here. We've got CB consumer confidence at 10. Yeah, that's pretty picture perfect right there. When that closes, bang, and you just get right in. It's not really good that these core DMLs are up here, to be honest, but in this case, you have so much support here that I would be willing to overlook that, and that's why I'm trying to get long at like 72. So I'm going to leave my order at 72 for now, guys, on ES. I like that level a lot. Just checking stuff on my other computers over here. How are you guys doing? Good? Just gonna get my last little bit of coffee. Give me a sec. All right, you guys. So let's see if we can get filled on ES. It's just, ES is a big contract. So getting in it right there, right around 70, that's nice, So let's see. We don't want to miss any alerts. That was hogs, which we're not taking. Soybeans are just kind of hanging out. Hopefully they'll push. Still long. NQ is kind of doing its thing. So I'm just watching here, guys. So we just got an alert on feeder cattle, which I'm not interested in. The Russell. A lot of support here on the Russell, that's for sure. So I got to make a decision here. There's a lot of support there on the Russell, you guys. That could be good for a buy. ES has kind of left the station. So I think the Russell is a good buy here, guys. I'm going to see if I can get some Russell. All right, I'm long the Russell. See if it can catch up to ES. The stop is, I'm just going to monitor it. It's really unfortunate to miss that there on the ES, but I've still got the order at 72 on ES, I believe. Let me check. I got to make like a in TradingView, I've got to make whatever that's called, where you click on the symbol and it loads. You know, you've got all your symbols. Figure that out. So I'm long the Russell, you guys. Yeah, ES was nice off that support there. We're at 83 already. So I'm going to cancel my ES order because I don't want to forget about it. Just going to chalk that up to a miss. It is what it is. There's not a whole lot we can do about it. We're long soybeans, long the Russell. Should be long ES. So on the Russell, I mean, you've got this pullback here. You are coming out of a flash, but I mean, you've got a lot of support down in here. You do have some DMLs here as support. So, you know, nothing's guaranteed, but there's a lot of support here. ES respected its support, right? That would have been a really nice long. NQ is so far respecting its support. The Dow flushed lower and is now trying to push. So I don't know. Keep the Russell here for a sec. Okay, ultra bonds. Not pulling back into our support level. So we'll just kind of let that go. Silver. Silver's pushing up out of that pocket, but like I said, my support level kind of got broken on silver, so I'm not going to mess with that right now. So ES was the one, you know, like now it's like this can happen, guys, right? Where you miss the ES, which is really unfortunate, and then you get into the Russell or the Dow and it just lollygags around and drives you fucking nuts. But, you know, it is what it is. Like, we had our reasons for going long here, and let's see if this is one of those rare instances where ES and NQ go straight up and Russell goes straight fucking down and we're long Russell and we miss the ES. That can happen, you know? But I'm going to hold here. I'm long on the Russell from 62. This is kind of where the support should be, if there is any. So we really want to see support in here. I mean, it's a nice pocket. I'm not nuts about it breaking that, but I'm going to stay long here. So I added one more Russell, and my stop is basically, if this support breaks, I'm just going to be out with a loss. So I'm going to stop it at 57. That's the Dow. See what happens here. I mean, it's not a bad little signal there on the Dow, but it's going to be correlated with the Russell, and I'm already in on the Russell. So I really want this to squeeze to see if we're correct. I mean, the Dow is trying here. At least it's trend reverse on the lower time period to the upside. ES is pushing. I mean, but you know, the Russell, it's a little bit of a different animal. To be honest, my least favorite indices are the Russell and the Dow. But the patterns are the patterns, so. I mean, my target on this would be up around the daily highs if it works. So Dow's trying. Russell's trying. Now, if we really start to break to the upside on the Russell, I'll move the stop to break even. I just don't want to do it too early. So the reason for this trade is, number one, it was, you know, very close to our support at the daily lows. Number two, you know, you're trending up here. Yeah, you got a flash. So generally, you got to be careful coming, you know, these congestion entrance bars. But technically, this is not really a trend because that was only 2 bars. But anyways, you have a nice pocket. You've got some DMLs here. There's a lot of support here, so it could break, but I had to give it a chance. It's kind of right around my entry here on the Russell. So, I mean, the lower time period was trending down, and now we're at least, you know, trying to move inside the envelope. We've got some consumer numbers coming out in 7 minutes, CB. Nice, Darren. Good job, buddy. Using the analysis, baby. That's what I love. Yeah, I wish I would have got in at 70 on the ES. That was just a missed signal. It hurts, but I'll get over it. I don't like how Russell is kind of struggling here. I really want this to push. Be nice if the Russell could push here. All right, that's a signal on live cattle. See if the Russ can push a little. It's trying. I'm in from 61.9, so I mean, I'm probably going to be at break even soon, and just it's a free runner, right? And then yeah, it can come back and tag us and piss us off. It is what it is. I mean, I like being in on free runners. So I'm going to move my stop to break even, you guys, on the Russ. It might be too soon, but to be honest, I don't care. I'd rather just not think about it. All right, my stop's at break even on the Russell, and I'm targeting the high a day. So worst case, we break even. Best case, we make a lot of money on the Russell. You guys like that? I like it. See what happens. It's going to do what it's going to do. Some of these are just going to run. All right, heating oil, we got a signal. Still kind of sitting there. I don't like it. Yeah, crude. I think crude might come for another. Crude might take a run at that support and give a flash down here, which would be potentially a decent buy for crude. So we'll wait for that. We just got pinged on gasoline, which we're not trading today. That's our Bob. So we'll see. Either the Russell's going to break out here and it's going to be a beautiful situation, or this is an exhaust up for a reversal back down and we get taken out at break even. You know, you can't control these types of things in the market, right? All right, so let's go ahead. NQ. So NQ just closed, and I'm not going to touch it because, you know, the buy is down here, but, you know, hopefully everything can squeeze up. That ES is looking good. If you got long down there on ES, I would hold it till high a day. You know, I would stop it at break even and hold till high a day. Kind of like what I'm doing on the Russell. You know, somewhere up here. ES is not looking back. But, you know, this is where ES, you know, when you get it right, or the Nasdaq, it, you know, it pretty much goes. Whereas the Dow and the Russell, they tend to kind of want to piss you off a little bit more. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if this one came back to break even at all because it's 2,000 companies and it's just more like this. But whatever, we're long from a good spot and we just got to see what happens. Supreme, what's up? I see your message retracted. Did you do that or did YouTube do that? I don't know. Sorry, I missed it. So Darren, yeah, you got in. Great. Move, stop. Good job, Darren. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Why not? You know, ES is trying to push. I don't like that the Dow is struggling here. You know, that kind of makes me want to take my Russell off, but I just can't take my Russell off because you just never know. And, you know, like making $400 on each one of my Tradeifys on the Russell here is not really going to do a whole lot for me. But if it squeezes up and I'm able to make, you know, a couple of grand on each of the Tradeifys, you know, that does something for me, right? So that's how you got to look at trading too. And if it takes it out at break even, that's all right. All right, let's see. We got pinged on soybean oil, which I'm not taking today. Soybeans are kind of just sitting up here. Be nice if they try to run a little bit. That was wheat. We're not trading. So how are you guys doing? Good? Oh, you deleted. Okay, cool. Oh, no worries, Supreme. I promise I won't let you affect my bias, man, but I appreciate you thinking of me. That's kind of you. No, share all your opinions, you guys. Like whatever you think is going to happen. I'm just following my plan. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Cheers. Oh, here's the news. That's right. So let's see. It could spike down and take us at break even, or it could spike up and we could get lucky. That's that consumer confidence news. You know, let's see. I hope the consumer confidence news, you know, says in the blaring headline that consumers suddenly just love soy milk. They can't get enough soy milk, and then our soybean trade will just go up. That would be nice. At least the Russell's given us a chance. Let's see. We just got pinged on gold. Gold's been quiet today. That's what's cool about having the alerts, guys, based off of the volume-based charts. You can see when the market is busy or not, right? So gold usually will ping a lot more, but today it's not pinging that much. It's just trending down on low volume. So yeah, gold's just a trend run down. Soybeans are trying. The Russell's trying. ES is trying. Oh, the ES would have been good right there. You guys got it though. Good. So I'll upload my charts for you guys, those of you who use Sierra. Remind me to do it later. I'm sure I'll forget. And then, you know, you can have your alerts going too. You'd be like, hey, Andy, we just got an alert on ES. Check it. And then, you know, we'll miss fewer of these, which would be great. And basically, if my Tradeify accounts get to 3K profit on the day, you know, for all 5 of them, you know, that's when I'll end the stream because I can't really make more than that for my consistency rule. Yeah, that'll be sweet, Darren, huh? You guys enjoying the new format of the stream? I'm enjoying it a lot. So ES and NQ are definitely pushing nicely. The Russell's trying. I would like it to get a little 2-bar squeeze up here. You got some support, some resistance up there around 72. So I'd have to see, you know, maybe I'd cut it up there depending on what we see. I don't know. We'll see. This is the trade management side. You know, it's the nuances, how you feeling, what's going on with the Dow. The Dow's not really following, which I don't like because the Dow and the Russell will kind of track each other. So I'd be more apt to hold this if all indices were headed in the same direction. ES is trying to push, NQ is pushing to see if we can get a nice little push here on the Russ. So ES just gave us another signal. Yeah, this is going to close, but we're just pushing. So corn, not doing anything there. So that's nice. With NQ and ES are pushing, but the Dow is dumping, and the Russell could be connected to the Dow. So tempting if I pull this off on the Russell or let it go. I'm letting it go for now, but I don't like that the Dow's not following. That was cattle. We're not doing anything. So we're long the Russell from 61.9. That's nice. It's at break even. Trying to catch a little bit of a runner, at least up to like 72. Preferably high a day, but you know, we may not get that. All right, so I'm going to take my Russell off here, guys, and just see. The reason I'm doing this, and this may keep going, you guys do what you want. I booked some profit there on the Russell, but the fact that the Dow is struggling, and look, the Dow can piss you off. The Dow drives me nuts sometimes, but the fact that the Dow is struggling, and it may rip here, and then the Russell rips, and then, oh, why did I take it off? I don't live like that. I just say, I'm taking it off to see if the Russell tries to pull back down here. You know, maybe I'd re-enter it, maybe I wouldn't. You know, took a nice little chunk out of it. So you guys do what you want. I think it could run, but the reason I closed it is that I didn't like that the Dow was rolling over, and the Dow and the Russell will be a little more, you know, but correlated. But look, the Dow could just do this right now, right? Remember that like a week or two ago when I was long the Dow from a beautiful level and it just fucking lollygagged around for like 3 hours. And I was like, I just don't like this. So I moved my stop to break even. I got taken out. And then the Dow ripped for like 600 points. Do you guys remember that? I mean, that's trading, right? So anyways, I took the Russell off. It is what it is. We made some money. It's fine. Soybeans, we're still long. I gotta say, at this point with soybeans, I'm probably gonna move to break even because if I'll show you soybeans here, guys. We're long soybeans from the open last night at 59.5 down here. Now, if soybeans wants to, we're still long. If this wants to come all the way back down here and take out my stop at break even, but it gives a good pocket, I like what I can always re-enter, right? It's not really, unless it tags like, and then, you know, tags the stop and then closes back up here. Well, then you're just like, hey, that's a little unlucky. Sometimes these things will just keep going. And I'm more about managing the risk than worrying about, you know, missing the trade. So with soybeans, we're in a good position. We're up nicely. Let's hope the soy boys want to buy a lot of soy, so this will go up. If they don't, I'm going to get taken out at break even. So I'm going to move my stop on soybeans to break even. You guys do what you want. All right, I'm at break even on the beans. Whenever I say the beans, I think of Something About Mary. When Warren, you guys remember Something About Mary? You remember Warren? He's like, pork and beans. I think about that scene when I'm trading soybeans. Anyway, so soybeans will do what it's gonna do. We're long from a good level. All right. All right, we're having a, I mean, pretty much that winner on Russell was nice. Soybeans are at least up with stop at break even. You know, ES kind of broke my heart because that would have been a really nice chunk there, but at least Darren got it. That makes me happy. Yeah, exactly. I'll do that for you, Alex. With the alerts. Uh, and guys, if you don't have Chat GPT, I recommend, you know, you don't have to get the subscription, but use Chat GPT. Like, I couldn't figure out for the life of me how to do a freaking alert on Sierra charts because it's confusing. You got to put like a weird little code for the alert. So I went into Chat GPT. I was like, yeah, how do I do the alert? It was like, oh, put this. I put it, it works. So any questions you guys have about things, Chat GPT will hook you up. Yeah, the soy boys. Pork and beans. You guys know what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, you watched it again. That's a great movie. Well, I guess that's because, you know, Darren, AJ, me, we're all kind of in the same age bracket. I forget how old you are, Darren, but you're close, right? So Something About Mary was like prime time, right, for us in high school. It's crazy that that was like 20 something years ago. I can remember watching Something About Mary with my grandma in the theater, and I've never seen her laugh harder than when, you know, remember the thing in the hair? I don't want to say it because I don't want to be crude, but remember my grandma was cracking up. Well, ES. See, that's kind of cool too, right? If I hit the $3,000 target on my 5 Tradeifys for 15K, you know, that's like a, then I get a goodwill bonus. I can cut the stream early and go surfing all day, and we just pick up with the end of day analysis. And the ES would have got me there. If I got in on my ES, I'd be surfing soon. Oh, oh gosh. 51. Okay, yeah. So what's that, Darren? That's 74. But that's similar. All right. So how you guys doing? Anybody still long natural gas from the call in the video last night? We're long soybeans still, but soybeans is trying to dump back to our entry. We'll see. We got no risk on that trade now, which is fine. Let me look at nat gas here. I'll bring it over here. So nat gas, yeah, that's nice. So if you bought nat gas and you held, you're still looking pretty good. Crude. Oh, good guy. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is what I was waiting for on crude. Nice little flash here. Nice support. Now what I want is I want the true average to move down. And I want this core, I want this to be under us. If we got a flash with these things shifting down here, that could be a nice buy right there on crude. So let's see what happens with crude. All right, we just got an alert on soybeans, the soy boy beans. Yeah, so look, it may come back to tag us, and if it does, that's okay. You know, trading is not perfect. So we're long from here, and the stop's at break even. So, you know, what are you gonna do? ES looking beautiful, just beautiful. That was the long right there. Where'd you get that, Darren? You got that at like 75 or something? That was good. Yeah. Look, when I went in, obviously in high, I just don't like being like when I see a signal that I get there at like 71, and then I did get in at 76, and I was like, I don't like getting in at 76 when I should be in from 71. That's just me, you know. Obviously, I wish I'd held it, but it is what it is. So is that E? No. So we just got copper and live cattle signal. Well, alert, not signal. So live cattle, we're not really worrying about right now. Here's cattle, can do whatever it wants. Some days we'll have good reads on cattle. Oh no, sorry, that's soybean oil. Here, this cattle. We're just waiting. Let's look at copper. Yeah, so copper, I'm kind of feeling and hoping at this point that copper will just give us a nice buy pattern here for the end of day analysis later, that we maybe can focus on copper tomorrow for a nice push like that. That's what I would like for copper. I mean, I'm not against if we get a flush down here into the daily lows later, I might buy some copper. I mean, if I was a meth addict, I'd probably buy lots and lots of copper. No, I'd steal it. I wouldn't even buy it. All right, guys, sometimes we got to make crude jokes, right? And I know I'm not making fun of, you know, people who have had issues and stuff. I'm just streaming, having fun, making jokes. Like the soy boys, you know. I used to be a soy boy. I was a vegan, guys, for like 5 years, you know. And then eventually I just couldn't keep my eyes open and I had to go back. But to each their own, right? Anybody that wants to be vegan or do whatever, I'm live and let live. All right, so we got copper. This is going to close, but I'm not doing anything here. Let's see. Guys, I'm very politically agnostic and incorrect. You know, I'm almost Danish in that sense. I will just make jokes, and it is what it is. All right. So let's see here what we got. Christian holding on to long ES. Nice. I like it. See, I'm just trying to catch up here. Yeah, exactly, AJ, when they did it to the hair. No, it's crazy. That was pretty risque for that moment in time, right? Like, that was nuts. And I couldn't believe my grandma was cracking up in the theater on that hair scene in Something About Mary. I can remember I was really embarrassed. I was like, oh. But looking back on it, it's really funny that you got such a cool grandma that will laugh at that scene, you know? Oh God, grandma was she was just cracking up. And I was like, I remember, because I think I was like maybe 14 or something. And I was like, I was just like this in the theater because my grandma was cracking up. And I was so just like embarrassed. I mean, those of us who grew up in the 70s and 80s, man, things have gotten so much more raunchy. Like, I mean, the what do you say? Like the moral degradation has just gone straight off a fucking cliff. It's crazy. All right, so you can see not getting a lot of pings today, which is cool, because if we don't get the alerts, what's that's telling us is that there's just not a lot of volume today, right? So the system is fantastic, working very well. Nasdaq pushing back toward the highs. I think ES you're going to get up toward the highs. So Christian and Darren, if you guys are holding, I think that's a good hold. ES is one where getting in from 70, I would hold for the highs. Just beautiful because you got NQ charging. ES should want to catch up, especially on a day like this. The Dow is lollygagging. That's why I closed the Russell with a nice profit. That Russell trade was good. But you know, the Dow and the Russell could rip up now and woulda, coulda, shoulda made a lot more money. Anyways, it doesn't matter. We make what we make. We move on. All right, we just got an alert on feeder cattle. I don't want to trade feeder cattle, but it's not on my list today. Nothing over there. So crude. Okay, look. Remember what I was just saying on crude oil. Remember, guys? I said if we get a flash down here, and I wanted, remember the true average, if you rewind the video, this was up here. It's now shifted. Now we got a lot of support down here. This could be potentially something like that for crude. So we've still got some contracts left to trade. I'm going to wait for the higher time period to close. And look, if it closes up here and we miss it, we miss it. I can't do anything about that. But this is how we at least stock the trade and prepare, right? That's really, really important. Oh, and guys, even though I'm going to stream, you know, like I said, from 8:30 in the morning Eastern, which is 6:30 Costa Rican time, all the way till 2:30 in the afternoon, that's obviously going to be dependent on the day, right? So if we make a lot of money early on and the markets look to me like they're just going to kind of flutter for the rest of the day, I'm definitely not going to sit here and fucking watch paint dry, right? Like we'll just, you know, call it a day, book our profits, go enjoy ourselves, prepare for the end of day analysis, do it again, right? So just keep that in mind. All right, so we're waiting for some alerts. Nasdaq is pushing, not surprising. Looking good. I'm just checking some stuff on my other screens over here, guys. So just we're waiting for alerts. We're hanging out. Ask questions if you got questions. I'm here checking some other stuff. I'm still here, guys. I'm just looking at some stuff. We got Nasdaq driving nicely. I'm still here. Nothing's pinging. Ask questions if you got them. We're doing our thing. Nasdaq pushing. What I like to see. We just got a ping. What do we get pinged on? Natural gas. There's one on the Russell. Let's see. Nat gas. Okay. Just pushing higher as we suspected. If you're already in on nat gas, good job. Let's look at the Russell. Let's first look at the Dow. Oh, there you go. See, that's just what the Dow loves to do. Probably Russell's ripping. Oh boy. Shouldn't have taken the Russell off. The Dow got me again. Well, I got a chunk of it. That's kind of what I wanted to see. See, the Russell, I find the Russell and the Dow just a little bit harder because, I don't know, ES and NQ are a bit more comfortable for me. But when I saw the Dow kind of dipping, you know, like right here, dipping down, but it like I said, the Dow will just do that to drive you nuts. And I thought the Russell could follow. Oh well, it is what it is. I probably would get out, you know, up in here anyways, but it is what it is. All right, let's focus on NQ. We just got tagged on the Dow. They're all just pushing toward the highs. So I think that's something I would mark in my journal, you know, my mental journal for today. Hold the Russell longer. Kind of an idiot there. Oh well. But you know, the Russell and the Dow, they're just it doesn't really matter. I made on that Russell trade, I made $850 on each one of my Tradeifys on that Russell trade. So, you know, it's not like I'm upset, but could have made $1,700 on each one of them instead of $800. That's okay. Meanwhile, soybeans are kind of just hanging out, up a couple hundred on those. See what happens if we get lucky and get a squeeze on the beans by the end of the day. Oh yeah, AJ, yeah. People don't even flinch. I know. That's by design too. Well, you're in the right place to raise money for your home, AJ. You're in the right place, my friend. I got my standing desk back. I can't tell you, when I was in San Jose at the penthouse, I mean, it was nice, but we had it booked for another whole week. And I just told my family, I was like, I can't work here. I got no standing desks. My kid's driving me nuts because the third bedroom where I had my office was like way too small to set up everything. So I did it in the living room. And then like I was like, let's just eat what we spent on that last week and get back to the beach. I'm so glad we came back to the beach. Just checking stuff here.
Order filled. Order filled.
All right, that's good. I got my $200 days and my top steps. So I'm a couple days away from like a $10,000 payout on those. All right. So we got the Dow pinging. I'm just going to make sure everything's closed on my other screen. Give me a sec. Yeah, so what I want to do with the top steps is get that $10,000 payout. I don't know how much it'll be, somewhere around there. Hopefully put that request in by Wednesday, Thursday. You know, they take the money out hopefully the next day. And then I'll have about 10 grand left in those XFAs that I'm going to be very, very aggressive on. So I'm looking forward to that. Oh, that's awesome, Darren. That's what it's all about, bro. I love that you took the initiative, took your laptop, you're on the stream, you're in the waiting room, and you're just making money. It's beautiful. I love it. Nice job. All right, so the Dow gave us a ping, but it's just kind of lollygagging around here. And all the other pings, all the other alerts are not of interest. We're still waiting for crude to close. So that's all good. So we're having a good day. You know, soybeans is probably coming down to break even, I would guess. That's okay. We gave it a good run. See, these are like the nuances. So here's soybeans, probably coming for, you know, we were up nicely at one point, coming for break even down here now. Probably going to get us, and then probably reverse. But I don't want to risk more on this soybeans trade. So break even is fine for me. You guys do what you want to do. Should have held the Russell, but made some money anyway, so that's fine. I missed out on ES, but a lot of you were smarter than me and jumped in here and took it, and you're writing it, which is awesome. Happy about that. You guys are using the analysis to crush it. I love it. Well, soybeans are looking pretty weak. Getting very close. We'll see. Yeah, so that's the way the streaming will work, guys. We'll just, you know, it's basically if we need to be here all day because the setups haven't triggered, then we will be here all day. But on the days where we've had a nice morning, we'll save our energy for the next day. So far, we've had a very nice morning. Have you guys had a nice morning as well? Everybody's doing all right, making some money? So soybeans are about to take out our stop. That's okay. And then we'll just, you know, recalibrate for the end of day. See, this is the thing about trading, right? You just got to put yourself in a good position. And soybeans was a really good signal here. This is why we took it and we were up nicely. But you just, that's trading, right? Like, we don't know what's going to happen. This could have just gone up here. And then we would have had a really nice day on soybeans. No big deal. Just on to the next one, you know? And then, yeah, the Russell. Okay. Had a great entry there. Beautiful. And made 850. You should have made some more. Whatever, you know? It is what it is. ES, you guys nailed that. Beautiful. NQ's pushing higher. The Dow is the Dow. It just does what it does. Just got an alert on crude. Let's see what crude is doing. I mean, I'm liking crude down here. I'm gonna maybe buy crude here, guys. Hold on, I'll tell you. I'm gonna see. We're gonna close. We still haven't tested that extension down there, but you know, it's close. Let's see what heating oil's kind of trying to break through the lows. Don't really want to see that. Gasoline's trending down. So let's just see with crude here. I'd feel better if, you know, heating oil was holding on to its gains. They're not like perfectly correlated, but there's some correlation there. So let's watch crude here. We might be buying some oil. Yeah, thanks, Ralph. Appreciate that. It's good that you guys remind me. So, nice little flash down here. Let's just see where it closes. Forget what the daily was. Sorry, the weekly on crude. Oh, whoops, wrong direction. Just look at crude over here real quick. Again, I want to load those higher time periods. So crude is about to close. That's gasoline. We're not trading gasoline, but let's watch crude here. Heating oil just gave a alert. Yeah, I mean that's a pretty nice little flash right there. I don't like that yet because it's breaking these DMLs, and look, it might just go up. I'm kind of looking for. Let's see if I like the pattern there on crude for a buy. I really do. I like that we're close to the support here, but let's just not be in a rush with crude. Let's see if they can flush these lows into our daily support level here, which is very strong, or at least, you know, we think it's going to be strong, right? Let's see if they can, if it just rips up from here, I'm okay to miss crude. Those of you who are feeling saucy, I mean, do what you want to do. But for me, I'm just going to see if they can sweep those lows and then see if any buying comes in. That's what I'm going to wait for on crude. So while I'm looking at other stuff, maybe Ralph, just have crude up and let me know if we sweep the lows. You got a lot of support here on crude. Like, it's a nice flash. It really is. You've got the congestion DML. You've got the core DML. So you really do have a nice zone of support right there. Let's just see. Okay, thanks, Ralph. I appreciate that. So let's look here with crude. I think this is the reason I like the pocket on crude. You know, I really do on the weekly. We talked about that. I just, you know, these are tough for me when we open here, and I know that's my level. It is, but it's pushing down right now, right? And heating oil is heading lower. So it's just kind of why I'm not like in a super rush. And look, crude might reverse and go all the way back up here. It could happen, but I would like to see a sweep of the lows and then see how price responds. And then what will be. Or in French, as they say, que sera, sera. So now we've got ultra bonds. Not doing, it's kind of already made their move. The bonds, not expecting to get a pullback here to our level. You know, anything's possible, but I'm just not counting on it. Feeder cattle, we're not trading. All right, guys, your ES trade is looking really good. Somehow we're still long soybeans, but we're very close to being taken out. So crude might just rip up from here. We'll see. You know, it's just the true average is still above you on crude on that flash here. It could rip, but I would like that more here. Is what it is. Getting some alerts, but that's for corn and cattle. Not interested today. Soybeans is hanging on by a thread. We're at 61 and our stop is 2 ticks below. Probably going to get taken out. Call it a day. So NQ, try to tag high a day. I mean, you guys who are in profit on ES, you know, you got a lot of resistance up here. It might break, it might hold, but if you've had a little run, I might book some profit with the lower time period trying to enter congestion down here. Don't be afraid to book profits on ES if you're up nicely. It's up to you. Yeah, heating oil back to zero. Exactly. That's kind of why I'm not digging the crude buy, even though crude could be a good buy here. The fact that heating oil is round tripped, I don't really like that. You know, that big round trip. That's a nice little pattern there on heating oil, but I just am not nuts that it's not rallying better off these lows. And the daily is trending down on heating oil. I mean, so we don't need to be in a rush. Crude could punch from here to the upside. It really could, but I'm content to just watch. So ES, we got 3,400 contracts left till this closes. The Russ made it back to my target. Oh, beautiful. Keep the ES up here. All right. We got condensation, you know, the AC's on and it's so hot outside. The insulation in the Costa Rican building, they don't build very well. So you get condensation. Like I got to leave this door cracked, but then my AC's got to work harder. All right, we got an alert for NQ as well. There it is. Beautiful. Nice, Christian. I think, you know, it could push higher for sure, but if you've taken a nice chunk out of that, I mean, that's great. Darren trailing, nice. Yeah, I love it when you guys each person does their own thing, right? That's the way trading is. Like, look, I was a bonehead for closing here. I just thought, but hey, hindsight's always 20/20, right? We're 1 tick away from being taken out of soybeans. I'm still in, but it just has to trade 1 tick lower and then I'm out. Here's soybeans. Well, that would be really funny if soybeans just ripped back to the upside and came within 1 tick of cashing me out at break even. I think I'm going to get cashed out, but that would still be funny. Be nice if we could get a little love from soybeans. You see, this is like, guys, trading. Everybody wants it to be like perfect. It's not perfect. You got to do what you got to do. Like, imagine soybeans. If I had said, oh, there's daily resistance here, let's just book our profits. Great. And then this reversal happens. You're like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. We took profit at the perfect spot. Like you never know what's going to happen. Whereas the Russell, I'm like, I kind of think it's going to try to come back down. It didn't. And then you look like an idiot, but you still made money. So people want trading to be perfect and it's not perfect, right? Yeah. Nice, Christian. Proud of you, man. Good job. So soybeans is toying. Soybeans is pulling on our heartstrings. All right, so there goes ES. Guys, even if it rips higher, I think you took a nice chunk out of it. I would have been happy with that. I mean, had I gotten in at 70, especially here, because you saw with ES and NQ, and you saw NQ at higher days, that gave you a lot of confidence to hold through here on ES. Whereas with the Russell, I was a little thrown off by the Dow, my arch nemesis. But the ES, that was a nice move right there. Definitely. So soybeans still in miraculously, but looking to get out. Let's look at platinum. We just got pinged on platinum. Platinum's kind of just hanging out here. Not on my list today. Looks like soybeans is probably going to flush. Make that a note for you guys. It's a really important lesson. I should probably do a video on this, but I don't want to like, each person's got to trade the way they want to trade. I don't like, you know, if I buy here, which I did at the low pretty much last night at the open, and then I'm in nice profit here, and then it comes back to my break even and takes me out. It could go back up here like this, but I'm the kind of person where if we round trip it like that, I don't like to take another bite at the apple. That doesn't mean that it's always the right thing to do. That's just the way that I do it. Because I feel like if the market was really going to stay strong, it should have kept going up. And it didn't, right? But we gave it a nice chance. Still in somehow with soybeans. Pretty funny. There goes Windows, wanting to change the size of my windows again. I love it. Here's the S. Here's NQ. So crude, I'm still kind of looking for, see if it tries to sweep. It's trying to head down there. I think crude's going to be the last potential trade for the day, guys, because we've had a really good day. I mean, it could have been better, obviously, but I'm up almost $1,000 on each one of my Tradeifys, which is 5K. I got my $200 days on my top step. You know, that's cool. And I think the markets are going to settle for the rest of the day. But I will hang out a little longer to see if crude can sweep these lows and maybe give a buy. It's possible. So there's a close on the Nasdaq in front of us. You can see we got a little pocket here at the high of day. Sure, it could go down, but for me, I don't like trading against the daily and the weekly bias, which is bullish, right? Oh, nice, Darren. Beautiful. Locking in 1400. That's fantastic. Good job. Yeah, that's great. If that's your worst case, that's pretty good. We just got pinged on copper. Yeah, I'm going to wait on copper. So really, sort of my last interest here of the day. Otherwise, I mean, look, we came, we saw, today we did well. You know, we don't need to sit around. So like ES was great. Russell was great. Soybeans, we gave ourselves a good shot. I mean, it's working out. Russell, I had a nice winner, but should have held longer, but whatever, still good. And now crude is just kind of the last interesting one. Oh, good. Let's see what happens when crude. We'll watch this together. This is my last market of interest here on crude. We'll see how we do. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it, buddy. Hey, Brandon. Nice to see you, man. What is my system for trading? I mean, it's kind of hard to describe. You can go to the website and read about it, but basically all the dots and lines that you see on the chart, there's a system to it to read the charts, and it works. There's a course. We do end of day analysis, so we prepare for the day. Live stream, we trade our end of day analysis, and we make money, pretty much. I know, guys, how would we got a lot of members in here. How would you describe VolPro Edge to Brandon? I mean, it's whenever I get asked what is my system, it's hard to describe that. So here's Ralph. VPE is a multi-time frame system that gets you on the right side of the market, etc. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we use multiple time period analysis. We set up our day with end of day analysis using the yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily charts. We find the right markets to trade. We find the right markets not to trade, you know, the bad ones to avoid. We plan the day with our end of day video. That's like an hour long every single day. And sometimes we put trades on at the open. Sometimes we wait till New York. We wait for our spots. We execute and we make money. If you have any more questions, let me know. But that's kind of the nuts and bolts of it. There is 7-day free trial. So you can come on in and check it out for 7 days. And the course is in there, the indicators and the charts for TradingView, Sierra charts. You know, you got downloads to download the charts, and you can give it a go for a week. And, you know, if it's not for you, you can cancel, and no harm, no foul. It's about as risk-free as that's like a risk-free trade where you move your stop to break even, and it's only good things that can happen. That's how I feel about it anyways, but I am biased. So Ralph, it's also Andy, who's a real trader and getting to see, yeah, exactly. You get to kind of see my thought process behind everything. And I mean, you guys tell me, but in my opinion, the end of day, you know, the course obviously is fantastic. And the charts and the indicators, it teaches you how VolPro Edge works, but then seeing how I use it in the end of day analysis, the live streaming, like you actually get to see that we trade what's in the course, you know? So I don't think, and we cover all the futures markets, which I don't really see anybody else out there doing, right? So we're getting, let's see, we've got some alerts on some markets we're not following. Live cattle, not today. Feeder cattle, copper. So crude's kind of we had this level here. You know, even when price opened here, I'm interested in that level right there because these are dynamic market levels. They're, you know, formulas that give us good reads. I'm looking for support here to see if it wants to hold or not. And Brandon, I don't know if you saw, but we had a good read on ES, Russell, soybeans. So we've had a good day. I mean, to be honest, most days are pretty good. Doesn't mean we don't lose. Sometimes we do. I'm just watching the charts. I know you guys are there, but I'm watching crude here because you can see, you know, the lower time period has swept the lows. And now are we going to respond and push higher? We might. A lot of support here. I'm still not feeling crude. I know we're right at our level, and I might miss it if it pushes. But the fact that we're coming out of this pocket on the daily, and I was kind of looking, because the reason I'm not liking this crude trade, and it might push up from this support level, guys, but I was trying to think, why don't I like this? I kind of like more like early in the day. You know, you get a flush down here, you get tested, you buy it, and then that's it, right? Like natural gas here. This was the one, our zone on that day, you know, was here. And it just bang, boom, like that's what I like. Whereas the fact that we're lollygagging around on crude here all day, and we're like leaking lower, and we're coming out of that daily pocket, it's just not looking great to me. You know what I mean? So I feel like I don't want to force it. Oh, cool, Brandon. Nice. Nice of you to be here all morning, man. I appreciate it. Well, so you've been learning something. Look, just hang out in the live streams for a little while, a week or two, and, you know, you get tons of info just hanging out in the live stream. And then you can see more of what it's about. And there's lots of people in here, you know, that you can ask questions to. And then we got lots of people that just, they're not here. They use VolPro Edge. They do their own trading, and, you know, they just kind of do their own thing, which is, that's the goal, right? To get you doing your own thing and making money. By the way, guys, Aaron the Commodity, he's one of our 6-figure guys. He's going to be on, they rebooked him. Remember, he was going to be on Top Step TV like a month or two ago. They rebooked him. He's going to be on Top Step TV now. I want to say like next week on the 6th or something. I don't know. So I'll give you the exact date. But he's going to talk about VolPro Edge on Top Step TV. He's going to bring up the VolPro Edge charts, and that'll be really cool. And then one of these days, I'm going on Aaron Trade's Top Step TV show, but you know, he does the Asian session, or London. That's the middle of the night for me in Costa Rica. I got to find a day where it's good to stay up. So we'll see. Lots of good things in the works. Okay, those are all markets we're not trading. So crude, I'm not touching this. And look, it might reverse, but guys, do you see right there how just by using a little bit of, you know, thought and logic, we stayed out of this flash, right? And that's what time and experience will do for you. And not that we always do that, just, you know, if you just kind of don't rush into trades. Like today, you know, I'm only up like 5K on my Tradeifys, right? And I got my $200 days in my Top Step, and I'll take the $10,000 payout from Top Step later this week. So am I going to like, ruminate, I think is the word. The rest of the day, I think it's ruminate. I don't know. I got to look that up. About that Russell trade that I should have let run and didn't. No, I'm like, okay, you know, I should have let it run. I didn't. I'm not perfect. I made some money. Great. You know, the ES. So like this was a $5,000 day on my Tradeifys. You know, it could have been a $15,000 day, right? Easily. Had I been in on that ES, I wasn't. It's okay. But some of you were, and that's the goal here, right? I get in on my stuff. You guys get in on your stuff. It's awesome. All I can say is thank God we don't have bull flags and bear flags, right? I think, should that be the motto for VolPro Edge? No bull flags and no bullshit. I like that. Yeah, crude's breaking down. So did a good job staying out of that. You know, look, gold in the end of day analysis. What did we say? We said that weekly pocket pattern probably was going to push down, but I wasn't sure, but I knew I didn't want to be longing gold here. And, you know, look. So silver, you know, that was our support level, but we didn't get confirmation. This happened in London anyways, but just straight down. So the intraday chart is not confirming the support. This is why I love multiple time period analysis, especially when you have a system that works. You just, you know, wait for the trades that look really, really good. You guys remember that scene from Zoolander where he offers to build him the school? And he's like, but how are the kids going to fit into the school? Oh, God. So funny. All right. So, yes, grinding higher, but you guys took a nice chunk out of it. So, yeah. So, guys, I'm going to leave her there. I know some days we're going to stream till 2:30 Eastern, which is 12:30 p.m. Costa Rican time, but I'm not feeling like we need to today. We came, we saw, we planned the day last night in our end-of-day analysis. We had our levels ready to go. We executed. We all made money. I don't know what more we can ask from this day. My kids at school, I mean, I'm just going to go surf because I haven't been surfing in like 3 weeks since the baby came and we were in San Jose. So what do you guys think about that? Any last questions? Ralph says, I didn't know how to have a thorough plan before this. Yeah. You knew how to trade moves, but not with plans, solid planning, longevity. Yeah, exactly. This is all like everything that the Furus teach or say they do, but they don't do. Like they all say, you got to have a plan. You got to plan your day. You got to trade your plan. You got to have a system. They all say that. None of them do it. I think that's the difference, right? So, guys, I'll hang around here for about 5 more minutes. Let me know if you want to chat about anything, if you got any questions, if you got any funny lines from funny movies like Zoolander. We got 5 minutes to go. And guys, if you feel compelled to stare at the screen the rest of the day, then just keep using the levels, wait for good patterns and nail it. But I've had a good day, and you know, soybeans are funny enough. Literally, they've been hanging on by like a tick or two for the last 30 minutes, which is hysterical. My stop is at break even on soybeans, guys. I'm going to let it go the rest of the day. I anticipate it's going to get taken out. get some water while you guys think about questions. I'm here. Gotta charge my phone. I always forget. Yeah, totally. All right, guys, any more questions? Ralph's telling me to go surf, and you know, typically I do listen to Ralph, so. Oh, right, the chart. Well, that's going to take a little bit of time later, Ralph, and the reason for that is my charts are running off of the DLL on my hard drive. Your charts are running off the server. So what I'm going to do is I have to switch these. I've got to make some adjustments before I upload them. Yeah, but I'll do it later. But if I forget, Ralph, which there's a high chance I will, please, you know, just DM me or whatever and tell me to do it, and I will. So, all right. Do you guys have a good day? Everybody made money? I'm going to call it a day here. Appreciate the likes and everything. And I think word is going to get out that we're pretty much over here kicking butt most days. And I'm super excited about that. So I'm going to leave it there, you guys. I appreciate your support. Thanks, Christian. Thanks, Ralph. Thanks, guys. Cam, everybody. Yeah, ChatGPT is a great resource, guys. You should use it for sure. All right, so I'll catch you guys in the Discord later for the end of day analysis. We'll get our levels rocking and rolling for tomorrow. We'll prepare for our live stream tomorrow, and we'll just keep making money. That's all we can do, right? I mean, I got lots of kids I got to pay for now, and you know, I don't want to work forever. So, all right, take care, you guys. Bye bye. Thanks for being here.